In this lesson video, we are going to cover three things. First is how to subdivide a mesh. Second is a tip on how to transfer selection between selection modes. And lastly, about duplicating mesh elements. I know it seems that these three topics do not relate to each other, but we need to cover this first so we have the required foundation for further lessons. Let's bring this cube up a bit. Then go to the edit mode. If you want to add more faces based on a quad grid to an object or to mesh elements, we can use the subdivide command. For example, if we select this single face, right-click and then choose subdivide here, the previous face now becomes 4 faces. If we right-click and then subdivide again, now we have 16 faces. Essentially, the subdivide command will add more faces by dividing each of the selected faces into 4 faces. You can also perform subdivide on edges. For example, if I select this edge, then right-click and then subdivide, we can change the number of cuts here to 3, for example. Now, if we go to the vertex mode, we can see we have 3 new vertices here. Let me undo this several times. If you want to subdivide the whole object, then you need to select all of the faces, right-click, and then subdivide. You can change the number of cuts here to any number you like. You can slide to get higher value quickly, but the maximum number for a single subdivide operation is 10. If you need more, you can do multiple subdivide operations. Now, let's discuss about transferring selection in Blender. If you have 2 vertices selected like this, then press 2 to go to the edge mode, or by clicking on the edge icon up here. We can see that Blender converts the vertex selection automatically to edge selection. But if we press 3 or go to the face selection mode using this button, you can see the selection is gone. This is because 2 vertices or an edge selection cannot represent a face. If we go back to vertex mode and then select 4 vertices like this instead, if we go to the edge mode, we have 4 edges selected, and if we go to the face mode, we have 1 face selected. Now here is a question. What if we want to select these 4 faces by only selecting this single vertex in the center? Can we do that? Yes, we can. To do that, we use the Control modifier key when switching between selection mode. So select this vertex and then hold Ctrl and then click on the face button up here. You can see these 4 faces are now selected. Now the cool thing about this selection technique is that it is reversible. So if you hold Ctrl and click the vertex button again, we have our single vertex selection back. Another way to do this is by holding the Ctrl key and then press number 1, 2, and 3. Ctrl 2 is for edge selection. Ctrl 3 is for face selection. In Blender, you can duplicate objects using several methods. But the most basic way to duplicate objects is by using Shift-D shortcut. Currently, I am in the object mode. If you select an object and then press Shift-D, the object will get duplicated and you automatically in the grab or the move mode. In this condition, you can move the object to any location you want and then left-click to confirm the new location. Or you can right-click if you want to cancel the movement. Now, if you right-click, you are only canceling the movement, not the duplication process. So currently, the cube object is already duplicated and it is now located at the same exact location with the original object. We can see if we press G and move it like this, we actually have 2 cubes here. Let's delete this one. And let's select this one and do another object duplication. Press Shift-D. Now because we are in the move mode, we can use all of the move mode features such as pressing X, for example, to constrain the movement to the X-axis. You can type in the value of how far it will move away. For example, type 3. Then left-click or Enter or spacebar to confirm. If we are in the edit mode, we can also perform duplication on mesh elements. We can duplicate vertices, edges, or faces. Let's see this in the face mode first. If we select a face, and then Shift D, and then move like this. We have this new face floating in here. Now, if we are in the edge mode, selecting a single edge and then Shift D, we get an edge floating like this. But if we select edges that form a face, for example, these 4 edges here, when we duplicate them, it will also duplicate the face. In the vertex mode, the same principle applies. If we select a single vertex and then duplicate, we get a vertex floating like this. But if we select 2 adjacent vertices that form an edge and then duplicate, we have the 2 vertices and the edge that connects them. If we select 4 vertices that form a face, when we duplicate, we get a face also. Finally, we can also constrain the movement after the duplication process, just like how we duplicate objects in the object mode. For example, I want to copy this face and move it 2 meters that way along the negative y-axis. So select the face, Shift D, then to constrain to the y-axis, we can press Y, then press minus, type 2, and then enter.